Hello everyone, this is Serious Trivia. Welcome back to our subscriber game tournament as we are in the last match for our first round. This is match 13 between the Little Tiger in the green side versus Zhaolie in the red side. And we have ourselves quite a massive army showdown. All armies are full units, and starting with the Little Tiger, we have the Little Tiger army. Sun Ce, Zhou Yu, Sun Ren. The Wu family is here. Best friends plus sister. We have ourselves a lot of shock cavalry, 4 mercenary calves, 1 handmade guard, which is very good choice for the guard passive to help your generals have 25% extra damage resistant, always helps. Then we have a cataphract for a heavy charge, very interesting choice. Then we have Zhou Yu with 4 crossbowmen, which I don't particularly like because they are range infantry, but if you have to go with range infantry in multiplayer, then perhaps crossbowmen is the unit you want. Because of their high armor piercing damage, you are faced off usually against some high quality unit in multiplayer, so archers tend to not get the job done, whereas crossbowmen can still output decent amount of damage. Then finally, 2 Z militia, probably just, filler units here. I don't typically agree with having filler units. I think it's much better to have more premium units. You don't need a full army, but we see that there's actually 3 total Z militia, and the army actually do need them as they have no no cavalry answers aside from their own cavalry. Then for Sun Ren, we have 4 of the mercenary infantry plus another Z militia and a tiger guard, which has the same exact passive as the handmade guard, except for your infantry. It's harder for you to stay next to your generals unless you are in a more defensive setup. So I can imagine maybe Zhou Yu will stay behind with the tiger guard for the bonus, and Sun Ren and Sun Ce perhaps are charging out with the handmade guard for their version of the bonus. These do not stack, they're the same guard passive, so it's not 50% with 2 of them, it's just 25% as long as you have 1 of them. Then looking at Zhaolie's side, we have an army led by Cao Cao, Guan Yu, and Guo Jia. This is the army setup for the Battle of Guandu when Guan Yu is working under Cao Cao, so thematically and lore-wise, both armies are quite historical, and Guo Jia was still alive before the assault on the Wuhuan tribe in 207. And looking at the army composition, we have a lot of veteran spear units from the Northern Army for Cao Cao. These are quite powerful in terms of just raw stats. Then under Guan Yu, we have a mix of cavalry and a couple of the Z infantry. Cavalry-wise, they're all militia, 2 shock, 2 melee. And then finally, for Guo Jia, we have 6 archer units. These are not so useful aside from perhaps some fire damage. As I mentioned, you're usually up against a lot of heavily armored unit, and that means archers are not good. But fortunately, these 2 guys, fielded their unit blind, and it happens that the Little Tiger's army lacks armor. Aside from the cataphract, everyone is quite low in armor. You have the militia units, you have the mercenary units, which do not wear a lot of armor, and crossbowmen don't wear a lot of armor either. So aside from the 2 guard unit plus the cataphract, everyone's actually a bit low on armor, so perhaps this is the round for these archers. So with that said, let's jump into battle and see how our final matchup plays out. Alrighty, so the first thing we did after loading in is to pause and tactical view, and right off the bat we see some very interesting deployment strategies from the Little Tiger. We have a very aggressive guerrilla deployment with Sun Ce showing himself over here, but you can see the infantry portion of the army has lined up in a nice little defensive setup under Zhou Yu, right on the flank, the right flank of Zhaolie's forces, and the cavalry is pressuring down from the north. And he kept the handmade guard with the charging general. That means there is 1 cavalry unit on account of 4. I thought he had 4. Oh, wait, actually, I thought he had 4 of them. One of them actually stayed with Sun Ce over here. So they're probably hiding in the forest. Oh, 2 of them stayed with Sun Ce over here. Cataphract. So Cataphract and handmaiden guards with Sun Ren. But over here, Sun Ce has his units. I'm assuming, are they hidden? I can't tell. But looking at the setup, they are definitely hidden because they're in this forest setup. But Guo Jia has foresight, so this isn't going to surprise anyone. So he had the opposite flank. So he's showing the heavy guerrilla deployment, but not showing his flank on the normal side to force them to maybe turn around and respawn and get flanked from Sun Ce, who does have 2 uses of the Devastating Roar, 50 morale, very useful. And Blood Fury, that's only, if he's in a sustained combat and winning it, it's going to be hard to trigger in multiplayer unless you force the enemy to duel you, which is rather hard. Flame the Phoenix, level 3, Zhaolie's level 3, and Sun Ren's level 3, no surprises there. Guojia is only rank 2. Okay, so he's missing Stifling Deluge, which will force enemies to not be able to use abilities. That is actually a pretty big loss. Guan Yu is rank 3, Cao Cao is rank 3. So, not really surprised. I mean, sure, if you had to give up something, perhaps Guojia out of these 3 is the one you want to come in slightly weaker. But we have seen in the past where Guojia clutched the game for a few of our matchup. And you can see the setup is very boxy. Wow. I wonder which way the archers are facing. Oh, they're all facing, they're facing opposite directions. So yeah, he's committed to this box formation that he has set up here, and we're going to see how that does against this flanking setup. So let's actually get started and see how this plays out. So let's see, no one's moving, everyone's taking a look at what they have. Sun Ren is going to come here and probably try to shoot her ability actually. Well, I would imagine, oh, there we go. Oh. What's that? No. Yeah, her damage is high enough to one-shot Strategist. This has always been the case, and Guojia has been killed. And it's piercing, by the way, so there should be damages on some of the units too. There we go. This archer unit lost 8, and this archer unit lost 4. Guan Yu is trying to charge here against 4 cavalry. This is suicide. Especially since Sun Ren has gold weapon too, but she's not... Oh, she's trying to use her ability. Got disrupted. So she's backing off. Well, 4 cavalry on Guan Yu. I don't like Guan Yu's chances. Too far away from the archers. And the cavalry are respawning right now. Sun Ce is moving up at the same time, trying to creep up with the main formation there. They don't want to get too close to the archers, but looks fine. They pulled away just before. This is the limit of the range there. And Guan Yu got chunked a little bit here as he flees back into his square. Sun Ren still has at least 1, if not 2 uses. I don't know if the Disrupt canceled it or not, but she should still have her Heartseeker up. And if the generals don't move around well, they can get picked off like that first one. Definitely caught Zhaolie off guard, as Guojia just evaporated right there. Alright, crossbow moving up, now moving back. They're thinking if the cavalry charge up, then they can creep up. Now, the crossbow do have more range, so if this formation want to maintain itself, they can creep slowly forward if they want, because you'll outrange the enemy archers. There's nothing they can do about that. Alright, you can see Sun Ren's, trying to find another shot with her Heartseeker. And she also has a bow. If the generals don't move... Cao Cao got chunked to half. They're throwing cataphracts or caltraps around the formation. Guan Yu's gonna hit. She switched to bow and she's gonna start shooting her arrows at Guan Yu, I'm sure. Guan Yu's moving out. So this is how you don't get hit. You have to keep them moving. And she... Good kite. And brothers coming to support. I mean, if it gets into a fight like this, the archers, remember, are facing this way and this way. So they haven't been adjusted yet, as you can see. So no one's actually shooting this side. If they do get into a firefight, the crossbowmen are suppressing. They have been moved up. Very nice. Although the front line should probably follow. You don't want sort of disconnect there. The traps are still being thrown. Doesn't really do much. And we'll see if Sun Ren can find herself another shot. She still has 1 more use, I'm pretty sure. Even if she doesn't have it, she has her bow, which I think she's trying to utilize right here. Let's see if Guan Yu can... Okay, she's just shooting regular shots. Guan Yu's not moving. 2k per hit, 2k per hit. He's wiggling away now. Okay, so that's not going to do any more damage. But you know, every little bit counts. You know, you're not going to heal in this map, so try not to pick on Zhaolie. Both of them have a default 30% range block chance, so that will help them a little bit. But she's realized, you know, Guan Yu's getting microed, so maybe we'll try to aim for Zhaolie. She's missing the shots though. Yeah, oh, that one hit. 10k. 9.8. Ooh. Guan Yu's almost close by, so I think she's pulling back right now. Yeah, she ran back, and the crossbow suppressing the units if they dare to come close. Yeah, this is a nice little answer, actually. It's like, what are you going to do about my bow? Nothing. Like, if she's able to pick off... If Soren can pick off both generals somehow, I don't think she can, but maybe if they do die, especially since Zhaolie is so far away from the formation, there's no morale boost on these units. This is a Z infantry without shield. If the crossbow press up, this unit will get shredded. Even the high armor wouldn't save it. And these archers, as we mentioned, aren't facing the right way. So you can imagine their cones looking like this. Sure, anyone in this area will get shot, but this is free hits. Cavalry moving in, so the cavalry need to answer. Well, pulling, luring them deeper, deeper, deeper. This is when the cavalry should move. No? This is a weird return move. The cavalry are coming. A little late. The smoke screen would have worked earlier, make the charge lose its target, but they're basically going to sacrifice a couple of the crossbow unit for the cavalry. The roar is being used. Guan Yu has more than 50, so he's not going to be routing, but the cavalry's all gone. Now if they just get a chase, there's 2 uses of the roar, so there's not a real stress about not using it here, because he can still roar on the rest. So we did lose 2 crossbow units. I don't think they had to. The intercept came a little bit earlier. They would have probably saved these 2. They're probably still going to bounce back with a decent amount of units. It's just, you know, you lost 30 units for really no reason at that point. And it seems like Zhaolie's cavalry is pretty spent. There's a couple that made it out, but the ones that stayed behind are, especially this melee, didn't need to come back, but it's wiped. So now the advantage is swinging, you know, even more in the Little Tiger's favor. I think she probably got the second Heartseeker canceled, which is why she didn't use the third one. Regardless, now it's just this square. Being static like this in multiplayer just does not work out. Like, you don't have the answers for what the enemy are throwing at you. You're at the mercy of, you know, your weakest setup. He has moved the archers to face the right way. At least one unit of it. Nope. Nope, they have returned back to the other way. So, no, negative. Alright, the cavalry is going to swarm Guan Yu as he's going to make a desperate attempt at cleaning out these crossbow units. And, you know, this should move up as well, right? You should really try to coordinate everything with all your units. Once again, we're baiting with 1 crossbow unit. At this point, you probably don't have to micro all of them away. If Guan Yu wants to hit that, let him hit that, and all of you guys can kill him. Worthy trade. If that was the trade, you know, you take it. Guan Yu has got a splash damage in. This is mainly because Zhaolie does not have Stifling Deluge, so he cannot stop enemy abilities. But at the same time, Guan Yu is not going to be able to get out of this, in my opinion. Crossbow shots. So, Little Tiger is playing it very safe. Not going to advance his unit into potential friendly fire situations. And we can just wait to assault this little square. I mean, I think it comes down, you know, whenever you're playing multiplayer, it comes down to a very basic statement, you know, am I playing like the AI? And if you're static like this, it's pretty much like an encampment battle, right? The encampment battles are never hard because you can shoot them and they never charge at you. And that's what's happening right now. You know, no one in their right mind will kick a rock with their feet. They'll bring a hammer. And that's basically what this is. I feel like the Little Tiger can be a little bit more confident with the crossbow. The extra range would let you at least pick off the Z infantry for free. And if the square is missing one side, I wonder what the square is going to do. Now the cavalry's getting a little bit too close. This is not how you want to approach this. Yeah, I think they're not thinking about how to kill this square. They're still focusing heavily. Oh, free shots on Cao Cao, who's not moving again. Cao Cao had 9.2 last time we saw him. Now he's at 8.2, 7.3. It's 900 damage per shot. And also, range block chance only work if you're facing the direction. So this was not going to have any range block chance. They have scattered into the woods, which is actually super scary. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, Cao Cao's desperately low on health. Guan Yu is not doing that much better. And it's time to use the infantry, to be honest. There's no cavalry threat. No one's going to be charging at you like crazy. So, time to inch up. Yep. And this poor guy right here is basically saying, we're going to get shot, aren't we? Yeah. You're like way too committed in terms of where you want your defense to be. And the enemy is just not going to hit you where you want them to hit you. Right? They'll be out of their mind if they hit you where you want them to hit you. Like at this point, perhaps you pray that these will run out of ammo eventually. Because look at after the first volley. We lost about 20 men after the first volley. Guan Yu is the answer. Yeah, sure. Up to a point. I believe right now mercenary infantry should be moving up, forming sub. That's too late. Yeah. If you are in shield wall, you can knock him off. So keeping all your generals on this side is like, what are they doing? Why are they not with the army? Even if you punch through this D militia, they don't need to be here. They need to be here. You're never going to charge these northern veteran spears. I mean, Guan Yu is trading his health to try to stop the crossbow shots. Perhaps, you know, if he could kill all the range, then perhaps he can force them into a melee fight at the square. But even then, you know, why approach the square? He took out 2 crossbows. Generals, come back. I mean, with Sun Ce having Aurora left, having a Flame of Phoenix, Sun Ren also has a Flame of Phoenix. This should be fairly simple. Charge in, slap them. Playing it way too safe. But as you can see, the D infantry has dwindled. I mean, there's only 1 crossbow unit left, so it's not that bad. You know, Guan Yu's little charge, trading 2k health for 3 crossbow, very worth it. And the main reason why that worked is because the counter general units are on this side. Alright, another volley comes in. And also, when you're so compact like this, even the shots that miss are going to kill some of your units. Alright, both generals are being committed to stop this final crossbow unit. Are we still going to just watch them? There we go, finally. You can't save it. You know, once they start charging, you're not going to get them out. Unless you already had a, you know, infantry unit in front of them. Which would have been fine, because no one can shoot you, so the infantry should have been in front of them to begin with. And now it's just, can we keep them here, not let them run away? Just charge. There's not that many spear units here. Everyone should swing and just charge. Once you're inside, it's pretty much murder. Or not. There's a lot of hesitation right now. I mean, does the square look that scary? Not really. Alright, finally the infantry's in front, protecting. There we go. That should have been the setup. If he had this setup with the 4 crossbowmen, he wouldn't have lost anything. Guan Yu would have got dismounted. Why is he trying to move in the same... Just stand behind. Oh. Is he going to try to wedge this in? That's suicide. That's not smart. And yeah, Spear Wall reduces your... I mean, they had no range block chance anyway, so it's fine. Alright, the units are just marching through towards the square. Okay, I mean, I'm down with that. Someone has to go. Preferably everyone. Imagine if these 5 actually lose here to the 2 generals and the Northern Veteran Spears, then... yeah, then it becomes much more even in this fight. The problem right now is Zhaolie is not microing. You gotta move your units. Like, you know, this is no longer the flank. Move everyone this way. Move all the archers this way. Go on, you charge into a... This, oh, well, you know, dismounted. Shield wall will do that to you. And now he can't run back. Oh no, Guan Yu. Oh my god. Mighty knockback from a vanguard. Where is the handmaid guard? I guess he's happy with just 1 charge. Barely did any damage though. The charge doesn't do much. None of the archers are facing the right way. You can see them. They're just shifting to that shot, 1 shot, and then shifting. They're not facing that way. Okay, finally some micro reaction. I mean, it is smart to move the units on this side because you know the cavalry's not coming in from over here. Like, this side's safe to pull away. The charge is... Okay, so look at the Northern Veteran Spears. Charge bonus, 42. They're designed to hold and brace. Look at the enemy units. They're designed to charge and not brace. They played this role pretty opposite. Basically, least optimal versions of each. The cavalry unit split for this opening. Very smart. Sun Ce should just be in here right now. Or, you know, give the roar... Well, Sun Ren's in. Okay. Sun Ren took out Cao Cao. Oh, Sun Ren has killed so many... Sun Ren done so much damage this fight. And now the brothers, sisters coming after the God of War himself. He is on foot, so he will do actually much faster hits and much more accurate hits. But he's just so low. Oh, here comes the cavalry. And the soft underbelly of these archers are just getting torn apart. And if the cavalries would pull out to do a reverse charge on these Northern Veteran Spears, it would be very good. You can see the angles being created here because they're kind of lost. You want to do as many of those Flame of the Phoenix as you can. Guan Yu's getting picked off by cavalry, by generals, because he's on foot. There's very little he can actually do. Like, at this point, holding this formation into thin air is not doing you any good. Yes, just get them into the fight. A little too late. I think Sun Ce still has the roar. But he doesn't need it. The charge, you can see the charge from behind. Yeah. Because you're in a shield wall, you're only protected from the front if you get a charge from the back. And with that, the square is defeated. And not too much to say. I feel like Zhaolie just did not micro. Yeah. Let's take a look at the casualty numbers. So I think MVP has to go to Sun Ren, not only for the kill count, you know, headshotted Guo Jia at the beginning, and then she got her second shot in. Well, second one was disrupted, third shot was on Cao Cao, taking down 15k of his health, and then once she charged in and she was able to kill him with one swing. The crossbowmen could have done better. They could have been protected better with infantry right in front, especially since you do have shield wall, that'd be 95%. You want to absorb all the arrows at that point. The cavalry just sat there for a long time, but in the end they were MVPs because they got into the middle of the square and everything was wiped. And looking at the veteran Northern Spears, they were used just incorrectly. They just sat there this whole time watching until everyone else died, and then they're facing the wrong way. There's enemies everywhere, and nothing you can do about that. So yeah, definitely a huge micro difference between the two. And congratulations to our final round 2 participant, the little tiger, moving on. And thanks, Zhaolie, for playing. And speaking of round 2 and round 1 concluding today, there will be another sort of video after this, doing an overview or review of round 1 with some analysis on the generals being picked, a couple of infographics about most popular general, who's been undefeated so far, who hasn't won yet, as in terms of general being selected. In the future, we'll be getting a few multiplayer tier list guide coming actually next week. And as for news about round 2, it will come tomorrow during the same time, 12 o'clock in the PM Eastern Standard Time. Will be an announcement video for round 2 in terms of the format, the rules, and the schedule. And the matches will resume, I believe, Wednesday. Tuesday we'll have the Troy announcement embargo lifted, and there will be a lot of Troy videos about the new DLC. But we'll come back and continue the tournament on Wednesday with round 2. It's a very different format. Now, each round will be quite different. That's the exciting part about this tournament. This first round is players playing against each other. For round 2, you'll see it will be a very different format, especially since we have 13 players advancing to round 2, and that doesn't really make for a good pairing. So there'll be a different map, there'll be a different format for each round, and we can't wait to show you guys the rest. So until then, bye!